Hi, 7th graders. We are starting Unit 8, and we are looking at the volume and surface area of solids. Today, we're going to talk about the nets of cylinders, cones, spheres, and pyramids, and learning to recognize them. In part 1 of this, it asks you to match each solid to its net. So let's see if you remember what these solids are. Number 1, what is it? That's right, it's a cylinder. Number 2 is a cone. Number 3 is a pyramid. Number 4 is also a pyramid. Number 5 is a pyramid. Number 6 is a prism. All right, so what it asks you to do is match each solid to its net. So these are the 6 solids, and A, B, C, D, E, and F are the 6 nets. A net is what would happen if you took a solid and took it apart and laid it flat. So you're thinking about what the faces look like. You're thinking about what would this look like if I were to take it apart and lay it flat. So I think that you could probably do this, and good luck with that part. The back side of this, let's see, nope. The next page, it gives you the net and then asks what is the solid that can be formed with this net. So the first part, you were matching the net to the solid. The second part, you're given the net and asked what is the solid. The last thing I wanted to look at is number 11. We are going to look at that together, and then you're going to answer number 12 on your own. Number 11 says, tell the type of cross-section formed and the dimensions when the prism is sliced by a plane as described. Okay, so A is parallel to the base, B is perpendicular to the base. All right, first thing you need to realize is that these are the same figure. They are both prisms. And if you will notice, this gives the dimension of the top base and the bottom base. So remember, a prism has 2 identical bases, top and bottom. It is a 3 by 5, and down here it's a 3 by 5. Well, if this is the same figure, then it would be 3 by 5 on the top, 3 by 5 on the bottom, but they give us the height of 12. So this has a height of 12, okay? Now, they are cut in different ways. When it says sliced by a plane, you imagine that this is a knife that goes through it. It is going to slice it. And the cross section is, if you were to take this top part off and look at the bottom, what would the shape be? So think about that. If this were sliced, if I were to take a knife and slice this prism, pick this piece up and look at it, what would it look like? Well, I'm hoping you would realize that because a prism keeps its shape from the bottom to the top, it's going to look just like the base. It is going to be a rectangle. Now, it also asks us to tell the dimensions. That means what are the measurements? So the type of cross-section formed, it would be a rectangle. The dimensions is going to be 3 by 5, okay? So A is a rectangle. Whoops. And it is 3 by 5 centimeters. All right. This one is a cross-section where it is sliced perpendicular. So that means that the slice is coming straight down to the base. So hopefully you would realize that The shape of this would be the shape of the cut part. So it is also a rectangle, but this one has this dimension and this dimension, okay? We can tell that this is 12 centimeters, but do you know what this one is? What do you think? It is 5, very good, because this is a 3 by 5, 3 by 5. So if it is cut perpendicular to the base, that means straight down, then it's also a rectangle, but the dimensions are different. So perpendicular to the base, it is also a rectangle. But instead of 3 by 5, it is 5 by 12. So it is a 5 by 12 centimeters. All right, number 12 asks you, what is the shape of the cross section? But this is not a prism. This is a pyramid. So think about what shape it would be. Look, if you look at this, this kind of tells us that this is a pyramid. From the dotted lines, we can tell that the base is a triangle. So it is a triangular pyramid. So A asks you to sketch what would it look like, and how does the size of this cross section compare to the size of the base? All right, I want to see you identifying those nets and telling what the solid is from the net, and then talk about this cross section. All right, have a great one. Talk to you later.